Good morning. We're back. It's the Pastords, and it's a cool morning here in Huntsville. That's a little too warm hoodie this morning.
You are so.
It was 54 in Blunsville today, Raj. 54. The sun coming up with the little glare, that fall glare. There, the invisible hands come and play. Beautiful. Love it. I hope it's beautiful where you are, dear listener and viewer, because man, have we got an action-packed episode today. I decided today would be the last episode of season 19 because it's gone. This will be episode 19 of season 19.
I lost track. Like I don't even put numbers now in the
It's
when I post
1919.
it on the.
Well, I do, Raj. I'm taking this seriously, okay?
Well, that's precious. Speaking of serious, do you know what yesterday was?
You didn't have another birthday, did you? 65. Medicare eligible.
Well, actually, a week after my birthday, which yesterday was.
I do know what yesterday was.
Yes.
So I bought two of them, one for me and one for Marlena. Pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks started yesterday. Man, was that good. I'm still a little hyped up from it, frankly.
I can, I can see that.
It's been a good morning, Raj. It's been a really good morning.
So two things from yesterday. It was actually yesterday was
Pumpkin spice latte day at Starbucks.
well, that's the third one.
Okay.
And it's certainly obviously the first.
Right, for me.
Mom and Dad's anniversary yesterday comes in behind the latte.
I never knew what their anniversary was.
Well, it's always a week after my birthday,
And it actually
which is
doesn't,
how I know.
it doesn't exist now because there's no marriage in heaven. Mom and dad are officially not married. It's a
Right.
no anniversary.
Right.
We
What
can say it would have
what are we
been
doing?
had they continued their marriage, but their marriage ended last year.
Yes. As the Apostle Paul said, yeah, when death comes, boom, marriage gone. Yes.
Well, I prefer to quote Jesus on that one. I love it. He asked the Sadducees, he's like, "Are you guys not read?" It's just great. Jesus is so funny. You guys read the Bible all the time. We'll be like the angels in heaven because there is a resurrection and there is no marriage or giving in marriage. I'm like, it always makes me wonder the same thing. Will there be sex in heaven? There's not marriage.
It's the big question.
It's the burning question. People,
Oh, that's good.
years ago, people said the top three things that people wanted to hear a sermon on at church was a message about sex, a message about heaven, and a message about will there be sex in heaven. I'm like, I don't know. It's not clear at this point.
Scholars are divided.
Scholars don't care.
Right.
It's the average man like me that cares. We want to know.
Scholars do care because they scholars were.
It's like the Heavenly National Enquirer. Inquiring minds want to know. No. What other day was it? So mom and dad's would-be anniversary.
Yes, and then yesterday was NFL cut down roster day, so you had to get to
Oh,
your
53.
53-man roster. Happened yesterday, so a lot of hand wringing. It's always that hard thing for because you might have up to
Well,
90
right. And
players.
you want the rookies to get a shot at the title,
And
not go B
it's
league.
just that day where 3 dozen players are going to get sort of a man. It was great hanging out with
For
you
each team,
for everything. Yeah,
which is a lot of. I mean, I forget what the numbers are of how many college athletes actually make it to the NFL. I mean, it's a big deal.
no, and so here is like if you got to a roster, you're so close. Okay, you're on a 90-man roster leading up, but like yesterday, some people just okay, the NFL is not going to be in the car. Now, not everyone who got cut. Some people who got cut will be picked up by another team.
And some will go to a scout team, yes, that they can call people up from. Do they have
Practice. So you have a
Squad,
16-man press. So actually, good point. You have your 53-man roster, then you have a 16-person.
Gosh, you know more about this than I do.
So if any of your whatever players
Given
you
injury situation, okay.
waive, they go away. If no one claims them, you can pick any of the. You can pick up those and put them on your practice squad, and that's what you're hoping. Like if you got
a couple of really good players,
some players we really like. They talk about you trying to hide them. You're actually kind of hoping they get through waivers.
You're hoping they play miserably in preseason, so no one wants to pick them up.
But the catch there is, if someone picks up one of your players on waiver that you waive, they have to put them on their 53-man roster. You can't get a player and put them on your practice squad.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting. Oh, yeah. So the only way you can pick them up is put them on a roster.
right. They have to
Okay.
be on your.
So that makes sense.
That's a very interesting. Anyway, but I just thought about those players that, this is the,
Yeah.
okay, real reality set. Okay, I'm not gonna.
I'm curious if we kept Broncos. I'm curious to know if we kept our third quarterback because Bo Nix is still number one. We're 3-0 in preseason. I should probably celebrate that now because we know that's not going to continue into the season. Pretty tough
Your
division already.
So tough.
And then a couple of teams not in our division are pretty tough. So we start with the Titans. I just never know. They're like that Jekyll and Hyde team. I never know what to expect every year from them.
Thankfully, Vrabel's with the Patriots and not them anymore.
Thankfully.
Because
I did see this. Now, this was shocking. I'm on to college football now. I'm switching gears.
All right.
Tennessee plays Syracuse this weekend. Tennessee's a 14-point favorite, which I found a little shocking. But okay, they got into
the 24 ranked team.
Yeah, they kind of sneaked into the top 25.
Yeah.
After they lost Nico, they had dropped out of the top 25. But then through spring practice and everything, they got pushed back up. A couple of things going on there. But the bigger news, I mean, you talk about college football like stepping it up. Did you see this will be like number one versus number three on the first weekend of the year? It's like Ohio State versus Texas. Game one of the season.
Wow.
You talk about a lot. Now, obviously, it's better to lose early for the way the playoff works. So I could see those teams going, all right, we'll take the risk. But man, what a great way to kick off college football season. I mean, I'm hoping it's a good game.
Did you see SEC is next year going to a 9-game in-conference schedule?
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean,
we've already taken SEC's already brutal.
We've already taken the toughest schedule in the nation, and let's make it tougher.
Right. And I think you're still required to have at least one other substantial out of conference.
And then you'll have 3 guaranteed rivalry games.
Yes.
So I'm curious to see Tennessee, Alabama will be one, obviously. I'm thinking Tennessee, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, but then it's not really a rivalry unless it matters.
Now, so rivalry, yeah, that's a real, like even of all the ones you listed.
I mean, I'd be happy to get rid of Georgia. I'll take Florida right now.
We can make the point right.
I'll take Vanderbilt all day. Let's make that the historic forever rivalry. We're going with Vandy.
We got to keep those rival games. Kentucky, Vandy.
Yeah, those are huge.
And Missouri.
Those are our big 3. Alabama, no one cares. Georgia, also no one cares. Florida.
Who's ever heard of?
So Roger, I like your picks. Maybe even throw in South Carolina if we have to. I'm cool with that. They're also a Jekyll and Hyde team. I never know what I'm going to get with them.
Oh, yeah.
At least I know what I'm getting with Vandy so far. Apologies, Dan. I know you're not listening, but if you were, you'd be semi-bothered by this. Not a lot.
But they still have that quarterback this year, who's playing on his 8th year or something.
Yeah, he got a COVID exemption, he got a sponsors exemption, he got a layout for a year
transfer, JUCO transfer, all the.
Well, they lost him in the portal for a while, so they gave him an extra year because they couldn't find him. They're like,
he's got 2 grandkids.
The 8th-year transfer. He's older than Bo Nix. That's great. But we're not here to talk football, people.
We're not.
Are here. Well, we are kind of talking football, but we're here to talk about a song that I picked this week because Roger took a real well-known song. I took a more obscure song because it's more, I think, in line with what's wrong in the world today.
It is obscure at every possible level.
Okay, so it's the song.
What's the song, Bruce?
It's the song Lightning Crashes by Liv on their album Throwing Copper. Had you ever heard it before?
I've never heard of Liv. I've never heard of Copper. I've never heard of
copper doorknob in the back.
Lightning Crashes. So I knew not. I don't know if they're a 50-year-old group, if they're a 5-year-old group. I know nothing about.
Yeah, they strike me as a little bit of a grunge band. But their song came up
They sounded
on a
grungy, yes.
playlist with, but I love let me do the lyrics. Most people have never, it's the lyric that I love. So it starts out just this like real low guitar. It's an electric guitar, but it's almost being played like an acoustic guitar, which is fascinating. But it goes, lightning crashes, a new mother cries, her placenta falls to the floor. Um, the angel opens her eyes. I think it's talking about the baby at this point. And the confusion sets in before the doctor even closes the door. Second verse, lightning crashes, an old mother dies. And I love this lyric. Her intentions fall to the floor. The angel closes her eyes. The confusion that was hers now belongs to the baby down the hall. And it's this powerful. I mean, the verse. I mean, the chorus doesn't make as much sense to me, other than it's like this. It's the gravity, the circle of life, all of this stuff going on. But when I looked at the song, I was like, this speaks to my hat disappeared and came back. That's interesting. This idea of we live in a world of confusion and in a world that desperately wants certainty. And the whole it was, and what the reason I chose it last night is I was thinking through that lyric again, all the good intentions we have that maybe late in life we don't fulfill, and the importance of doing that. But then the reality is that the only thing certain, well, other than death and taxes, quoting Benjamin Franklin, is Christ and his kingdom. That doorknob's going to drive me crazy. Just keep popping up and going away. And as I thought about that song, as Marlene and I we're reading through Mark right now, and we read that passage where Jesus talks about the kingdom of heaven is like a farmer who goes out and he sows seed on the ground, and day or night, whether he's awake or asleep, it grows and it grows. And it says first there's a shoot, then there's a stalk, then there's a head, then there's a kernel on the head, and then harvest comes. And it's just this reminder to me, and Marlene and I talked about it because she's a gardener, so she watches all of these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the soil makes it grow. Yeah, that sort of analogy with the Spirit of God is always growing his kingdom, and he's always growing people up in the kingdom. And there's these like stages of growth that he's taking us through. And I realized what I want to keep calling people back, and for all of our listeners and viewers, no matter what goes on in the world, because it's crazy uncertain, but I realize it's been crazy uncertain since the time of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom of heaven is established during the Roman Empire. Jesus comes and establishes this eternal, unshakable kingdom. And I realize that's the only point of certainty we have. In fact, everything that Jesus prophesied in Matthew 24 about, hey, end times are coming, it's going to be bad, you're going to have families divided, you're going to have wars and rumors of war, you're going to have famine, you're going to have earthquakes, you're going to have anomalies like weather anomalies, all of that stuff. And then he says, because the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. But he who stands firm to the end will be saved. The context being love. And I'm like, this kingdom that Christ established, I realize, and I'll let you talk in a minute, but
I
love
want to talk.
and
Let me
God
talk.
and God's kingdom, it is the certainty. Quoting Rob Bell, love wins. At the end of all things, because God is good, and because God is love, and because God is just. All of those, love wins. And we can be certain of that. And I realize that song is all about confusion and the circle of life and death. And but it speaks to spiritual realities because he keeps talking about the angel. The angel opens eyes, the angel closes eyes, opens the baby's eyes, opens the mother's eyes, and confusion sets in almost immediately. And I'm like, but that's why the message of the kingdom is so important, because it's a message of certainty in a world of uncertainty, in a world of confusion. Jesus said, in this world you will have trouble, but in me, in my love, in my presence, in my kingdom, you can have peace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just crazy. That's what the world desperately wants and needs right now. Right now, you can talk. That was a segue, in case you missed it.
Well,
And while you're thinking, I'm going to cover the knob. It keeps coming in. Drive me crazy.
well, your hat is coming in and out. You just went out.
I just went out. I'm still here, people. Don't worry. I'm back now.
No, it's funny. Yeah, your hat keeps because it's seeing that
It-
light, the background,
it's
and
enough
it's
like the
wanting to
wall.
blur it.
Right. It's
Right.
like, is that the wall or is it
Blur
the
your
back?
hat out.
Go back. Maybe it'll, I don't know.
No, what was I when you were talking, there's all this perseverance, this stay with love
Yes.
is this kingdom. God is always at work.
Yes.
He's doing far more than so even in the confusion, even in the things that are not going well, whatever, it looks like things are out of control. God has reminded me that in all of that, oh, he's at work. He's doing all kinds of things.
The kingdom is growing.
The kingdom is growing. Listened a couple of days ago to this awesome interview with some pastors from the UK,
Oh yeah, that was so good.
which you've got places in the UK where church attendance is 1% or less 10 years
It
ago.
was proclaimed 10, 20 years ago, like the church is dead
Right.
in England,
Dead.
like in the United Kingdom. It's just
Oh, and Hitchens and Sam Harris and the new atheists were just, they were getting all the headlines. And it's like, oh my goodness, the church. And here's the thing. God, just keep, I'm, I, I've got it.
right.
I've got,
I'm
don't
at work.
because we'll get what I will call our Elijah moment. I'm the only one left.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening.
The world is going to hell in a handbasket.
Right. Everything. And like he's saying, even
the handbasket's on
even
fire.
my own guys are the people of God are worshiping idols. Everybody, I alone, I'm just the only.
I'm the only one to stay true to the faith.
And what does he want to do? He just wants to die.
Yeah.
Because he can't see. He can't see. The kingdom, God is still actively at work. And so we get this little idea and we see this confusion with things, the chaos or the things that aren't. And actually, I've got it. He tells it like, well, I've got over 7,000 people that you're not the only one.
Right. You're not aware of them.
You realize you can only see a little bit here.
You could fill up a Vanderbilt stadium with that many.
But but the last thing you want to do is quit.
Yeah.
And stop. He tells really essentially Elijah, now here's what I want you to go do this. I want you to go do that. There's no need to sit here and ask me to take your life. And actually what he actually ends up doing coming out of that, I think, is he calls Elisha. I mean, there's some point where he gets his assistant Elisha who's going to carry on. And it's this reality, whatever moment we're in, everybody seems to feel in any given moment, they have their Elijah moment. This is. So I think about the people in the UK, like 10 years ago, it looked like really, and this new atheist, like the church is dead, right?
Right.
We're the new wave. And yet now, like even these pastors talking about, like the young kids coming in now, no one's asking about atheism. They're not.
18 to 24-year-olds are coming to the church in droves, wanting to find out about Jesus.
Wanting something that's real.
Yes.
They've tried this, they've tried this, they've tried this. And it's even the thing where, to me, life comes out of death. Like sometimes the church needs to,
certain things have to die so there can be a resurrection.
We're so concerned in America. Oh my goodness. People know less and less about Jesus. They're becoming more and more. But our Jesus has gotten encrusted with so many things. God can say at a certain point, like, that's not even real Jesus anymore. You guys have so diluted, corrupted, compromised him. You've put him in your image. I've actually, for the kingdom to move forward, I've got to start with people who don't know that Jesus. They need to start off fresh with Jesus.
Right. So I think this is so interesting we're talking about this, because this is another thing that I was reading last week, this whole idea of new wineskins. I feel like God's always raising up new wineskins.
Yes.
When things go bad, when the old is just gone, it's almost the way of man. The old becomes tradition, becomes encrusted, becomes entrenched, becomes more and more dogmatic, lifeless.
Right. It loses its.
And so God lets it pass away, and then he raises up new wineskins. It's interesting. And the algorithms knew about the podcast that I'd listened to. So I got this other thing. It's one of the religious periodicals that was talking about the resurgence of 18 to 24-year-olds having faith in God in America.
Right.
So it's like the same thing, going on in America today.
Yep.
And I think the more uncertainty, the more political uncertainty, the more weather
Agreed.
uncertainty, all of this stuff that's going on, it creates confusion, uncertainty. But here's it's this place where we're able to say, hey, look, let me tell you about the light of the world, though.
Exactly.
Let me tell you how love wins. Let me tell you how love trumps all of these other political ideologies and economic issues. And even when I think about, because I can't, it's hard for me to even watch the news when you think about, Palestinians starving and bombs being dropped here and just the
Oh,
effect
yes.
of war and the lies and the propaganda
And the hate,
and the
just so much,
hate,
and meanness. Right.
the love of most growing cold all around us. But
Yes.
Jesus talks, but stand firm. Just stand firm. The one
Keep
certain
going.
is Christ and his kingdom, and it's a kingdom of love. And I realized love never goes out of style.
No.
It just never, it's always compelling, it's always life-giving. So yeah, if you've been watching like world events and you're just feeling like I love that you said that that's a message right there. The Elijah moment, which we've
Yeah.
all had.
Right. It feels like, and it's so funny. Like even reading, I'm reading, just finished Dorothy Day's autobiography. But if you go back like 50, 60 years, and she's talking about these red raids when they were going out looking for communists. So we look and
Yeah.
say, oh, there are these ice raids. This is very troubling. Oh, whatever. And it is. There's certain things about that are very concerning to me, whatever.
And it's been going on for millennia.
But it's been right. It's not like it's
Think about the
so
raid on Bethlehem when Jesus was born.
right. It's so typical for us to in our moment.
Yeah.
Well, this is the worst, right? I mean, this is as bad as it. Um, and in the words of the song, it isn't as bad. Tomorrow's not as bad as it seems. Good old days weren't always good.
Yeah.
We, the reality is, there's a long pattern to history.
Yeah.
And the constant, as you said, is God.
Yeah.
He's got it. When everything's going great, he's got it. When things start tumbling, falling,
I was
he's got
thinking
it.
I was thinking about this yesterday when I was working around the house because it's so pretty out. It is working around.
Oh
It's just
gosh, you got to
lovely.
be outside, right?
But I had this thought, one thing you'll never hear God say. I didn't see that coming.
Right.
Because God always sees it coming. He knows the
Right.
beginning from the end. And I take so much joy in that. It's so funny on the drive in, it's not lightning crashes, but I was listening to the song Firm Foundation and I just love that song. He said, I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace
Yep.
that knows no bounds. I'm like, that's the kingdom of heaven. That's the certainty
Right.
of no matter what. He goes, even if the world like collapses around me, I've got Jesus. And I'm like, that's it, man. Firm foundation. We need to bring that song back. So good.
And it's not just God knows what's coming next. He orchestrated what's coming next.
Yeah.
In other words, it's
He was never not in charge.
right. He's orchestrated the chaos. He's orchestrated in other words, this is
Yeah.
not a sign that things are out because what I've said it so often is like we know how when we get to the end of our rope or the desperation moment, this is when we get to the end of what we can do. And part of the frustration we're dealing with the world out of control is there's the growing tension of I can't I can't do a darn thing. There's not a single I am and God's like, okay, now I've got you where you need to be,
Where I can do some work.
where I can do some work.
Because I'm always at work.
Because we're looking at all this chaos as if it's out of control. It's never out of control. It's out of our control.
Yeah, absolutely.
What we're feeling is, but what we're called to do is the next right thing. Love the next person you see. Give to the next need that you see. Follow Jesus and praise him, thank him, do the next right thing. Now we're living in the kingdom, and it's when we quit. It's when we stop persevering. Or Elijah, it's just take me on. I'm just going to sit here till you kill me. And God's like, twice he asked him, what are you doing here? What is this? Because he can't see. And what I love out of that story too, in that it is, there's that fun moment. The sermon's been, I'm going to give a word to you. I'm going to give a word to you, Elijah. So wait. So see, come out of the cave and stand at the mouth of the cave, and I'm going to give a word. Elijah comes out from the mouth of the cave, and he's looking, and there's a tornado. I mean, there's just okay. Now
Chaos.
God's going to give his word. Okay, nothing
Nothing
there.
there.
Oh, and the ground starts shaking, and it's an earth. It's
Earthquake.
God's getting ready to speak. Okay, I'm ready. I'm listening. Nothing.
Nothing there.
Then a raging fire, which he knows something about because he just seen fire on the temple at the sacrifice shortly before.
We've got wildfire
There's
raging.
this raging fire coming through. Oh, this is God.
This is the voice of God.
Right. God's going to come through in a big
Nope.
nothing. Then wait, I hear something whisper. Wait, that's God. And I think this thing that
Oh, you got to preach that
in
somewhere
all
for Sunday.
in
That's
all
so good.
in all the chaos, the whisper, God,
So isn't it
God
interesting?
at work.
Isn't it interesting? All the people that are looking at the chaos and the firestorms and the tornadoes, and they're looking for the signs. They're the signs of God. These is the sign
Right.
of the end times.
Right.
These are the signs of the coming of Jesus. They're the signs, and yet no, the sign is Jesus is whispering
They're not paying attention to the whisper.
in all of it.
Right.
And he's whispering, "Got this.
Here's the
I've got this. I've got you. It's okay."
and the whisper can be a bunch of 20 and 30-year-olds in the UK.
Yeah.
They're coming to Jesus in droves. We don't see it where we are, or we're not in this continent. We're still looking for some miraculous signs, or we're still looking for,
But yeah, even think about the revivals going on college campuses though.
Yep.
That I think was going on. Was it last year or the year before? That's going
Couple
by
years.
so fast.
Yep.
But at Asbury and these other college
Asbury, yep.
campuses, and you're just seeing. So yeah, God's always at work, and it looks like a whisper, maybe and it maybe even feels like a whisper because it starts small. But Jesus, the very next story that he tells is about this little mustard seed. He said, "This is what the kingdom of God's like. It starts like a little mustard seed, very small. It's a whisper.
Right.
It grows and grows and grows and becomes the largest plant in the garden. Finally, becomes a tree."
Mm-hmm.
That's so big it overshadows everything else, and I'm like, that's the certainty. I mean, I just love that because I can look at world events and I can look at even events going on in America, and you could throw your hands up. You could go, gosh, this is all just chaos, and what's the world?
Haven't you actually said, like, at certain points, just like, it's just a good time to, God, you can take me on out.
Many times.
Right.
And God always, whenever I pray that prayer,
Elijah moment.
he'll say, as long as you're breathing, Bruce, I've got work for you to do.
Yes.
Which is important to me because that's purpose. There's always purpose in that. And I realize this is going to just really just blow people's minds. But with all the stuff going on, even in America right now, I just felt like God reminded me of something, which was Jesus never promised me I was going to live in a democracy. I mean, I kind of like it.
Right.
But there's no promise of that. It's like when the kingdom of God was established, everyone in the world was under occupation except for Rome, who was the occupier.
Right.
Everyone else in the known world, there was no democracy. I mean,
right.
And yet God then establishes the kingdom that overshadows, that supersedes, that transcends all other kingdoms. And I think now, what a perfect time to do it.
Right.
When the world is under domination of one very short-term kingdom. I love the way that Louis Giglio, I was listening to him, talks about our life in relation to eternity. He said, you got about 5 seconds in light of eternity.
Right.
And in that Elijah moment, it's just 1 second of our 5 where we've got that thing going on. But I'm like, man, it's a better time than ever to proclaim the good news of the kingdom, to tell people about the love of God, because light shines brightest in the darkness.
And it feels like a whisper. I mean, prayer feels like a whisper. Giving thanks feels like a whisper. Again, doing the next right thing. Here's where we're like, we don't even see the arc. We don't even see where little things that are going on right now, are the planting of the seed, are the little bit of yeast. Our next right thing is the yeast that's going to grow. This is what God is asking. I don't need you to be powerful. I don't need great works.
Nope.
I just need a seed. I just need a little bit of yeast. I just
I
need
tell you what, I tell you what, this is how small the whisper can be. I just need a few more people that are offering a cup of cold water in the name of Christ.
exactly.
That's it. That's what I need.
But wait,
And
wait.
guess what? I'm going to reward that.
But the where we look and say, but there's so many thirsty, there's so many people who don't have what my little bit of water, just as you can't think that way.
At the risk of being the most cheesy pastored
Oh,
episode ever.
no, don't.
No, I
I'm
gotta
not
do it.
listening. La 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 la.
It's the morning that all the starfish got washed up on the beach and they're dying. And so this little kid he's just walking down the beach and he's throwing starfish back in the ocean. And, some guy says, hey, you can't save every starfish. And he's like, well, I can save this one. He throws it back in. I'm like, it's beautiful.
Now you're gonna do footprints on the sand. Go ahead.
Okay, so
Now there's only one
two
pair of footprints.
in the
Where did
sand,
you
and then
go?
suddenly, at the hardest point in my life, there's only one pair of footprints. It's
Where
like
did you
God
go,
left.
God?
And God said, I was carrying you. Give me another one. There's got to be a third that we can
Oh no,
talk
we've got
about
some
right
more.
now. This is good stuff. This is sermon analogy, so sermon illustration 101.
Gone awry.
Roger,
Do not ever use these.
this is how pathetic I was in the early years of pastoring. I had a book this thick called Sermon Illustrations. This is before I knew the best stories are your own stories.
Oh, we all did.
So I would look through the book, just furtively going, please, please, I need the illustration for this thing. Oh, there's the one. There's the one that's going to do it.
And it's from D.L. Moody in the 1800s.
It was D.L. Moody who had a guy he was getting off the train and a guy hit him on one cheek. So he turned the other cheek. The guy hit him on the other cheek. And D.L. Moody slugged him. They're like, D.L. Moody, why did you slug him? And he said, well, Jesus told me to turn my cheek one time, but after that, I have no further instructions. It's great. Don't ever do that. If you want to make a great, sermon, don't use someone else's illustrations. Which better just. Dad loved that story.
We did love that story.
He told it a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Except I don't think it was D.L. Moody.
It wasn't. It was the other guy. It was Billy Sunday. It was one of those
I think it was
firebrands.
Billy Sunday. I think it was
firebrands.
Billy Sunday.
It was liable to punch you in the face anyway.
Right.
No, so Zach, you'll love this. But it sort of ties into what we're talking. Zach sent me this reel.
Nothing ties it because we don't even have a thread today.
Our theme today.
Oh,
Pinball
the next
wizard.
thought that comes to Bruce's or Roger's mind.
I may have had more pumpkin latte this morning than I should have. But he sent me a reel, and this is an older pastor. So, I mean, he's in a full suit. He's an older pastor. So I know this is going to be just this really godly thing. And he goes, today I choose to follow Jesus. He goes, in about 2 hours, I'm going to want to slap the hell out of somebody. I'm like, but that is true because life is hard and gravity, this goes back to the song, gravity is always pulling us. The center of the universe is pulling. That's in the chorus of the song. I'm actually going back to the song Lightning Crashes. We're constantly being dragged down, but we're not going to slap the hell out of somebody. Instead, we're going to love them and care for them. Best bastards ever, I think.
I think it's time to stop the train. That's what I think.
So
We have gotten off the train.
next week,
This was the most
we're
random.
starting an entirely new season of Pastordom. And I think we're going to do the song We Are Family by the Pointer Sisters. There's a couple of reasons for that. I don't know. It's your chance to make the call. So we'll leave it to you.
Yes, I'll try. Yes. All right. I'll think of
Well,
something.
we love you guys. Let's see. What are all the things you're supposed to say at the end? Hit like,
Go Patriots.
comment below on this.
Donate generously.
Donate to the Pastor
Find
Fund.
us a sponsor.
That's